Should artists do IG feeds ads, explore ads, or story ads?
Yeah. So, like, which ads should they do?
Yeah.
The difference between Instagram feed ads, the explore ads, story ads. I think they have IGTV ads available now too. But it's not for like as many goals.
Okay.
The difference between, well, think about how you scroll through each component almost of them. So what Instagram and Facebook does, and like the bigger tech people, so pretty much bigger tech people, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's about it.
Okay.
What they do is if they see a new company coming up, they essentially try to mimic that and build it into their app. Right. So stories, they just saw that Snapchat was having success and then they built it into Instagram.
Yeah.
With Instagram Reels, all they saw was TikTok is having success and they try to build that in. Right. That is all they're doing. And they're trying to create more advertising space so that they can sell more ads. Like that's how they make their money.
Right.
So the difference with them is how you interact. So with stories, like if you're gonna make a story ad, you have to think about, you have that first 3 seconds to get the point across.
Yeah.
You have to think about people might not have their volume on whenever they're scrolling through stories, versus on TikTok, like a lot of times people are going to have their volume on because it's a lot you have to like listen to on TikTok. So it really just depends. So think about how people are interacting with it. And then the ads on the feed. What I typically like to do, like if it's a story ad, I typically like to get people off of that story as soon as possible. So what I mean by that is, like, the goal for all of these is usually to like get people to click off and get onto the website. But with that story, you really got that 15 seconds, like get somebody to swipe up. So think about how fast you have to get them to recognize that this is something they want to swipe up on. So think about the first 3 seconds that they interact with it. If your volume's not on, then you need to have the caption on the video. And it needs to be enough of an attention grabber within the first 3 seconds that they want to listen to the next 3 seconds. And then the next 3 seconds. And then, like, within the last 6 seconds, you need to be telling them to go click somewhere. Right. So I've seen people try to come up with like these courses trying to tell people to do stuff on Instagram stories where all they have is like a Spotify button, and like it just like that's supposed to get people to swipe up enough. Like that doesn't really work as well. So it's really about the headline.
Okay.
It's about when I say headline, I mean like you're putting a headline directly onto the video.
Right.
And some people have it there the entire 15 seconds. Some people will keep it there for the first 3 seconds and then take it off. Like whatever you want to do, whatever works. And then for the rest of that video, you can have little elements like, turn the sound on or something like that to get people to listen to the song so that they click off. But that's pretty much it for stories.
Right.
Now for the feed, you have a bit more time to get the point across. So you have about 60 seconds, I'll say, to get whatever message you have across and then get people to click off or take whatever action you want them to take.
Okay.
So you can have a little bit longer music video. You can have more developed message. You are keeping it in the square format on there. So think about, how the format should be so that the video looks good within the square.
Yep.
Or you can also do on the IG feed, something that we test is doing a 4:5 ratio. So when a square is a 1:1 ratio, and that's what most posts are on the Instagram feed of the Explorer. When they're 4:5, they actually let you take up more space on the advertisement so that it stands out a little bit. And we've seen, I think overall, we've probably seen better results from the 4:5 ratio.
Okay.
Like the video it still has all the elements in there, but whenever you just add that little bit extra space, you might be able to add maybe a couple more words within your headline or your banner, and that can help out the ad a little bit more too. And then usually for the Explore page, if we're running ads on the feed, we usually just run them on the Explore page too. And like if we're going fast and you're having trouble keeping up or whatever, or this just sounds like a headache, there's always the Facebook and Instagram ads management.
Yes,
you can
sir.
just get with us.
Yep.
And then you can just look at what we do for like the first 2 months, for 3 months, and then you can take it over after that. But that's like the difference between the feed, the story, and then the Explore page ads. So within the three of them, like we say, always test out different ads, different creatives, different ad types. Like you test out a bunch of stuff. Don't like we're in the day and age where you can make dozens of ads to test out, and then you might find that literally one or two of them perform the best. That's typically how it's going to work out. You make a lot of ads and you test out a lot of stuff. So it depends on your budget, obviously. Like if you have typically for the first, like the budgets you guys see listed on our website, for example, like if you're in that first bracket, which is like, I think it's like $500 or something like that. That's not enough budget to really be testing out a dozen ads. So we'll probably test out like 3 or maybe 4. Next one up, we might test 5 or 6. Like that's typically how that goes. And the reason that is because you want to give the algorithm, the system the AI enough time to see what is working. So that's the difference between like Instagram feed ads, Instagram story ads, and the Explore page. And then, like I said, I think they recently added on IGTV.
Okay.
So I know what they did with Facebook, like their video ads. I think they're mid-roll. So that means that it doesn't come on within the first 5 seconds like it does with YouTube. They usually have the video play a little bit, and then they'll have a mid-roll ad that's like 15 seconds long. I think is like the length requirement of it. So just keep that in mind. Like keep the elements of what is going on in this scenario in mind whenever you're making your ads. And I don't think that they have the like if you want to do a conversion ad, and there's different ad types, guys. So there's like ads that you're trying to go for traffic, which just means you're trying to get a lot of clicks. If you're trying to get conversions, I mean, you're trying to get buyers to do something, or you're trying to get like email list signups, or you're trying to get them to convert to an action on your website. So for IGTV, there's certain goals that you can't do yet because it's not optimized for that.
Right.
And they just like rolled out the IGTV ads, but that's like the mindset that we go through when we're creating ads for somebody. So the benefit of having somebody who's done a bunch of ads do them is just that like you get all that mindset going into them. So you get to skip a bit of the learning process, but now it doesn't mean that like every ad is going to be successful again. So even when people like us are running your ads, like I said, you're going to find that maybe 1 out of 3 or like 1 out of 5 or something like that is going to be like your winner. And then you try to make another suite of ads and then you pick a winner out of that. Like when we're about to come out with new ads, I'll make like a bunch of different ones. And then most of them for all advertisers don't perform the best. Like you're just trying to pick your winner. So that's why we're not in the days of like TV ads where you have to make one ad. You have to spend all this money on one ad to see if it works. Like you can make a bunch.
Right.
So you have that benefit. Take advantage of that. So if you have a music video, chop it up in different sections. See which sections work the best. See which headlines work the best, and that's the best way to go about your ads for Instagram.
10-4 sounds good.